All right, we have another Battletech battle going on. This is like first week of the war, really. We've had the current battles where they've cleared the center of the city from the spaceport, and now they're moving their way into the suburbs as they're slowly clearing the city of any opposition. Over here, we have our tree with a trebuchet, phoenix hawk, and Wolverine and Spider with a Dervish, Enforcer, Kintaro, and Jenner over there. So they're slowly moving in. Over here, you can see an area has been really heavily bombarded because there is some heavy long tom guns in this area. They're not sure exactly. We've been trying to hit them with airstrikes and stuff to take them out, and they haven't done the job. So forces in the area are being in the spaceport area are being shelled still, and they need to silence the guns. So that's your mission right now. And on this side, they have some spotting vehicles. They got a couple Hunter tanks. They got some Pegasus vehicles with individuals that have forward observer skills. And then we have 4 Warrior helicopters with the LRM variant with an SRM. And we have a Panther and a Crusader. And then here's your guns back here with their carriage and a coordinating vehicle that helps coordinate the guns to drop where it needs to be. So if one of the vehicles is spotting with the helicopters or the Pegasi, they're going to have a -3 to hit their target. They're very good at this job. They've been doing it for a long time. So your job is to stop the guns, silence the guns. Any questions? All right. So we'll be back with turn 1. Turn 1. The helicopters over here moved forward, doing pretty good speed, along with the Pegasi. Everything opened up and tried to hit the Spider, which was the only thing that was in range, and didn't hit with anything. The mechs back here are moving up. The guns fired along from their spotters, and you can see the little blue dice over here. Those are where the shells are going to land. So yeah, it gives them a good idea where it's going to be a bad day if you're going to be near any of those long tom shells. So I suggest you maybe want to move. All right, so that is turn 1. Moving on to turn 2. That was a quick turn. There wasn't much to do. All right, we'll be back. All right, turn 2. A few mechs moved up over here. The Hunters were in fire support mode. Missed by a country mile over here. They tried to shoot the Phoenix Hawk. The Spider did get hit with 6 SRM missiles. So he did take 12 damage. And otherwise, it was a epic miss by everything. Even the helicopters had some decent chances of hitting, and I missed by 1 on everything. A lot of missed by 1s. And then over here, they put a couple of the 2 medium lasers into that Pegasi there. And then this guy torso twisted and flipped his arms and fired and put 4 medium lasers into the rear of the Pegasi there, and gave him a motive hit, so he's at half movement. So he's now a 4-6 moving Pegasi. The artillery hit this road intersection right here, did some damage to these buildings, and the artillery hit over here and hit those buildings. And they're firing. It's like our shell's going to land here. The shell's going to land at the feet of the Wolverine. And then there's another shell landing on the top of that enforcer right there. So that is everything. Other than a little bit of damage to each other, it's just kind of trading some minor damage. Big thing was that one Pegasi over there that got hit hard with that crit. That was what hurt. All right, so we're moving on to turn 3. There we go. Turn 3. Big red die. We'll be right back. Turn 3. All right. The artillery dropped the rounds and caught this one building on fire here. And that building back there got caught on fire. And then a helicopter crashed into it after getting shot down. The trebuchet put 3 medium lasers, hit it all 3 in the rear, and knocked it out of the sky with medium lasers. Over here, the Kintaro took some damage, and then it preceded the 3 mechs, shot it up, mobilized it, and then the Kintaro stomped on it and stomped on the turret and crunched it. So that was the end of the Pegasi number 1. Over here, the Jenner took some damage, and then the Wolverine took some damage from those 2 mechs, and then they shot the Panther up pretty good. A little bit of damage to the you hit him with 1 medium laser. Plinked him in the back with a medium laser. And our mobile hunters here, they tried firing and totally whiffed. And I think, the trebuchet got shot up pretty good. He took over 20 damage. He took an SRM-6 and an LRM, which was interesting because the LRM needed 12 to hit from point blank range, and he still hit. All right, so that is it. That is the complete turn. We're moving on to turn 4, and we'll be back. Turn 4, the 200 tanks come out of here, laid in some LRMs, and just hammered the Phoenix Hawk over there for 28 damage, I think it was, or 2 LRMs hit. The artillery over here tried to lay some rounds right behind the Spider and epically failed to roll. One went flying over here and landed right here where the die is, so like way off target. The second one ended up landing right in front of the Hunter tank, and it took some damage from its own friendly fire. Danger close, not good. And then over here, the Panther shot the Wolverine and clipped it with an SRM and a PPC, and hit the left arm and actually did a shoulder actuator hit. Crit on it from Snake Eyes that floated in there. And then these 2, the Crusader flew over here with his 2 LRM-10s, hit the trebuchet who hadn't moved, and hit it with the left arm or right arm? Okay.
The right arm.
Right arm with a floater, and got a shoulder and a hand actuator with a floating crit. So took basically 2 shoulder actuators out just in the same turn. And then these 2 proceed to kick the Crusader, but he's still standing without any problem. The trebuchet over here fired down here and hit the Crusader for a little bit of damage. And then the Dervish fired his LRMs, torso twisted, and hit the helicopter that was there, the VTOL, and hit it with 2 LRM-10 racks and just obliterated the helicopter. Shot it right out of the sky. And then the Enforcer shot and hit the other helicopter there, but he hit the rotor for only 1 point of damage. Sorry. That's the way the nature of the game works. And okay, and then a little bit of damage on the Kentaro there, and a little bit of damage on the trebuchet from the helicopters from their SRMs. So that was it. That's the end of the turn. Moving on to turn 5. Turn 5, and we're up. Turn 5, over here, the two hunters backpedaled over here away from the rampaging Wolverine. The Wolverine torso twisted over here and hammered the Pegasus right there and hit with a SRM-2 or SRM-6 and hit with a SRM-2 in the turret and exploded it with a crit. Boxcar followed with a 11, so it hit the ammo, blew it to pieces. The Panther shot the Wolverine and shot its arm off with its PPC. The Crusader hit the Dervish with an LRM right over there. Then the Dervish turned around and returned a favor with 2 LRM-10s and did some damage to him. And then over here, the Kentaro hit that helicopter with some SRMs, did some damage to it. It's now did a critical hit to the rotor, so now half movement. So, and then these guys opened up on that helicopter where that smoke cloud is and obliterated one helicopter. Basically shot it up pretty good and took that one out. So that was everything that happened, I believe. Artillery, the 2 blue spots, that's where artillery is going to land. The one artillery shot hit here, hit the Wolverine with a direct fire shot from the hilltop over there, and did 25 or 20. Really hammered it hard, so that was a hard hit from him. And between that artillery and the Panther, he lost his arm because of it. All right, so that is the end of turn. We're moving on to turn 6. All right, we'll be back. Turn 6. The 2 hunter tanks backpedaled over here. One fired over here at this Spider, missed. This one fired at the Wolverine and barely missed. Artillery launched a round directly downrange and hit the Dervish and did a major splat on him and the trebuchet. And then this one fired around over here and hit the Kentaro with a shell. So they both got hammered hard. Then over here, the Crusader and the Panther opened up tore the Jenner apart practically. And then the Crusader kicked the leg and get a leg actuator, right? Punched in through past the armor. Yep. But the car over here launched across the way and blew the leg off and the right or left torso off of the Panther. So he went kaplunk into the ground. That's going to be a forced withdrawal for him. So he's going to have to punch out. And let's see. Everybody else is, other than getting hit with artillery and passing their pilot checks for not falling over, getting hit by artillery, they're fine. I think that's it. That's the end of turn 6. We're moving on to turn 7. All right. We'll be back with turn 7. Turn 7, we had the 2 hunter tanks backpedal to the very edge, and it looks like the next turn they'll disengage, so they're going to be off the table. Over here, we had point blank range, took out that one long tom artillery platform there, along with its ammo rack. Over here, the spider got in the way and put some shots into that long tom right here. This one looks like he's turning around and trying to motor off the table, which is like right there. He'd be off in 2 turns. And over here, these gentlemen launched down here, put some damage, motive hit, so he can barely get off the table. Over here, the Enforcer and the Phoenix Hawk shot the leg off the Crusader. Crusader fell and hit himself in the head and passed out with snake eyes, which are those white dye right there. And that's it. I think that's the end of the game. We're going to call it right there. Turn 7. That should do it. I would say these long toms will either self-destruct themselves or give up the ghost. So, and he's going to be out. So he's going to be surrounded by a bunch of hostiles while he's unconscious. I don't think he's going to make it out of that mess for a turn. Because the only place he has armor left is the center torso. Everywhere else is open structure. So any hits on him was on that Crusader was a chance of critical, and there's a lot of ammo in there. Okay, so that's it. What do you guys think?
Mm-hmm.
Good game?
Mm-hmm.
Vehicles are fun? Or not so fun?
Are fun.
Yeah. Now the helicopters, as long as eventually you wore them down. A little plink here, a little plink there. Eventually they went down.
Yeah.
Well, so that's it. We'll see you guys in the next one. Hell Greg's out.